to children, they had several research labs because the relative positive studies targeting children below 13 was very, very prominent. Young children were not part of the study. It didn't include children, minorities, and differently able children. The follow-ups were less than 6 months. So there were very few follow-ups of more than 6 months. So that's something that's a problem with these studies. And only 5 of them had more than 6 months follow-up, and maximum was 8 to 9 months. And very few targeted removing TVs from the children's bedrooms. So these are strategies which maybe would help increase the effectiveness of existing strategies on screen time reduction and extend them to different populations. So you must have these, you have to have studies which are long-term, you must have studies which have electronic TV monitoring devices included, feedback systems. You should have studies which include younger children, minorities, differently able children, and long-term, and removing TV from children's bedrooms is absolutely important in the strategies to reduce. And we don't have enough strategies. There's not enough studies, and that's something that we, AHA, can work on. We must do some studies, good long-term studies on how we can implement some of these strategies to reduce TV viewing. The social media's use is widespread, and there is a potential for false rumors and which cause erroneous behavioral actions and or undue stress and anxiety in adolescents and children. And this is especially so during the COVID times. And so the social media campaigns should be designed during this tragic pandemic to account for individual differences in developmental stages and psychological vulnerabilities of children and adolescents. That's something that we must be very careful about. The media should know what they're exposing, because children are continuously seeing very tragic news and they're so depressed. Most of them, many of these children who come to us at 5 or 6 years of age who are very friendly, now they sit at home, and when anybody enters the home, they close the doors of the room, call their parents in and say, Corona, Corona, Corona. Because they're so scared of this pandemic, the scare that has been created by the death that they see on the TV. And it's continuous coverage. It's continuous coverage of very bad news about COVID that is causing a lot of problems. And because of COVID, children are by far more exposed to digital technologies than usual, because the school closures have meant that there's an access to environment, and digital environment is essential for children's education, socialization with peers, play, entertainment, and self-expression. So policymakers need to do two things. One, make sure that there's a widespread access of the digital technology so that all children can exercise their rights. Now, this doesn't happen in India, where the Oxfam report 2020 showed India's infamous wealth gap. It said that 10% of the Indian rich, they have 3/4 of the India's wealth with them. And the rural and urban divide of digital divide is very, very marked. So many of these children don't have the access. So that's something that policymakers make ensure that digital technologies are available to all children. Secondly, they should know how to mitigate against increased risks which may arise due to increased use of digital technology. So these are two things that need to be assessed, and I think IHA should take a part and advise the government on how this can be done. Teen media, boon or curse. Now this module exhaustively deals with what we know about media and effect on children and adolescents, advantages and various problems it is creating in this new world. It also elaborates do's and don'ts, which are very, very useful. And a big round of applause is due to those who have made this module, that is Dr. Sri Prasad TG, Dr. Sanju Roy, and Dr. Deepa Janardhan. A great round of applause for them. They did a great job with this module. I've gone through the module. It's a very extensive module. And I would also like to appreciate the encouragement and support from IAP and AHA Kerala 2021 team, Dr. T.P. Jairam, Dr. Johnny Sebastian, Dr. Gopinath from the IAP Kerala State Branch, Dr. Shibu, Dr. Ranjit, and Dr. Deepa Janardhan again from the AHA. Done a great job. But we need to study methods for implementation of programs that can have long-term assessment of its impact. I wish the module all success, and I wish IAP and AHA Kerala programs all success. Thank you so much. I inaugurate this program.
Thank you, Dr. Jason Siunis, sir. Next, I would like to invite our chief guest today, Dr. Geeta Patil, Madam, EB member, Central AHA.
Saying good evening to one and all. Hope I am audible.
Yes, madam, you are audible.
Yes. Good evening to all. At the outset, let me thank IAP Kerala, Dr. Jayaraman, President IAP Kerala, Dr. Vijay Kumar, President-elect, Dr. Narayanan, immediate past President, Secretary, Dr. Johnny Sebastian, AHA Kerala, Chairperson, Dr. Shivu, Secretary, Dr. Ranjit, and Treasurer, Dr. Deepa, and IAP Cochin President, Dr. Pramod Warrior, Secretary, Sajid John, and none other than Dr. Jason Unni. I think it is indeed a great honor for me for getting this opportunity. Kera is obviously known everywhere for innovative ideas, and it is called as a powerhouse of talents and great leaders in Kerala. I think we know ourselves, all of us, Dr. MKC sir, Sukumaran sir, Kamath sir, and now Dr. Ramesh Kumar. All of them have proved their caliber as a efficient central IAP presidents in academic as well as organization skills. And many of the Kerala pediatricians we have seen very active in many subspecialties. And now when you talk about the adolescent healthcare, the concept was originated in Kerala by Dr. MK, none other than MKC Nair. He is a founder to take it forward. We had a training course in Kerala, and by that, many of them were trained. He's a mentor and guide to many. And after that, it was taken forward by Dr. C.P. Bansal, Tuteja sir, Dr. Preeti, and Swati Bhave madam was already involved. And now it is a very established chapter. And I am speaking on behalf of Central AHA as a South Zone EB member. And the topic is selected to launch a module that is a teen media, a boon or a curse. Definitely it is a boon because it is used as a bridge in our lockdown period, not to lose the time for education by online classes. We get a lot of knowledge. We can connect with people very easily, but it is a bane or curse also because we know that addiction is a major problem now. And when we were talking about media, we used to say screen time 2 hours or family media plan. But now there is a new normal. Media has become an integral part of our life, and more so for the adolescents. So as it was told that we know this problem is going to happen, so we should know how to intervene. And this module is really going to be very useful and very relevant during this COVID time. And to intervene, we have got in Nimans, I think many of you may be aware, we have got a SHUT clinic. That is a service for healthy use of technology. Dr. Manoj is involved in that. And now we are encouraging to use a Berger social media addiction scale. I think you will get information. It is a very good scale by which we can do screening. There are 30 points are there. Apart from that, there is one more screening, smartphone addiction scale. It can be used any general pediatrician because these scales we need to know now. I don't say that it is for diagnosis, but we can do screening with that. All these things we have to formulate now. Apart from that, we know these online classes, inactivity, it is leading to obesity. We have to take care of that. When you say teen media, you should discuss about obesity as well as physical inactivity and how to encounter that. We should know what is digital distancing, digital hygiene, digital parenting, digital detoxification. All these terminologies we have to now know, and we can guide the parents as well as adolescents also, so that we know what is in this new normal. We have to lead the life. We cannot say, oh, I'm not going to do that. Online classes for education, it is required for creativity, it is required for their socialization, and last is for the internet gaming or those things. So in the descending order it should be used, it should be highlighted by us. And again, I congratulate the whole team of IAP Kerala and AHA Kerala for taking this module forward, especially Dr. Sri Prasad, Dr. Sanju, Dr. Deepa, Dr. Ranjit, who are actively involved in this. All the best for everyone. And this is going to be a very useful module. And it is a great move by the IAP Kerala, IAP AHA Kerala, and it is hosted by IAP Cochin. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Geeta Madam. Next, I would like to invite President-elect Dr. M. Vijaykumar sir for felicitation. Vijaykumar sir.
Sir, I think Vijay sir is not here.
Okay. I would like to invite Narayan sir for felicitation.
Yeah, good evening to you all. Dr. Jason Undi, Dr. Geeta Patil, Dr. Shibu, Dr. TP Jairaf, Dr. Pramod, Dr. Ranjit, and my dear friends in IAP. First of all, congratulations to the adolescent chapter for releasing this module today, especially the persons behind it, Dr. Shibu, Dr. Sri Prasad, Dr. Ranjit, Dr. Deva, and all. Actually, the last year before COVID, IAP Kerala has been, we had a program to provide children a phone that is not a smartphone, so that they will not have the adverse effects of smartphone. We were planning such a thing, and we have almost done the job. Then came the COVID in the March of 2020. Then the school children were forced to have smartphone for their online education. And after that, you all know the negative impact of smartphones and social media on the behavior and the life of children, adolescents. And it does not stop there, at least in Kerala. I think adults, especially parents, are also badly affected. They also, during the COVID times, they get a lot of free time, and a lot of misuse of social media is happening in Kerala. The anti-social activities that is carried out through the social media. Social media must be for social friendship, but there are so many anti-social activities that are propagated through social media. So I think this module should reach all the parents also, or at least we have a women's wing in IAP. So you must modify or have a module for the parents, mothers and fathers. I mean, all the fathers. Parents should also have the module, because when you read the newspaper and get the news, we get a lot of problems where the entire family the family life is disrupted due to the Facebook or the WhatsApp connections of the parents. So this is going to be a real menace, and IAP, as expected, has taken the lead in having a module that will definitely help parents as well as children to overcome this grave problem. I wish this module all success, and today's CME also all success. Thank you.
Thank you, Narayan sir. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Johnny Sebastian sir, Secretary, IAP Kerala.
Respected Chair, Dr. Pramod, IAP Kerala President Jayaraman sir, Dr. Jason Unni sir, EB member CAAP, Dr. Geeta Patil Madam, EB member Central AHA, Dr. Narayanan sir, Dr. Santosh sir, past presidents of IAP Kerala, Dr. Sajid John, Secretary IAP Cochin, esteemed speakers of the day, Dr. Sanju Joy and Dr. Deepa, moderator and my friend, Dr. Sri Prasad, and the vibrant secretary of AHA Kerala, Dr. Ranjit, seniors, and dear colleagues. At the outset, let me congratulate IAP Cochin and AHA Kerala on taking up this presidential action plan in a big way and coming up with this module on teen and media. As we all know, the media is definitely having an influence on teens in a positive as well as negative way, especially during this pandemic. In fact, they have been bombarded with information. But at times, the unsupervised access to all this information can cause harm to the child, along with the positive aspects associated with it. So I wish this webinar and the module all success, and I wish all the participants here today a good learning experience. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai IAP.
Thank you, Dr. Johnny Sebastian, sir. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Sandosh, sir, past President IAP Kerala, for felicitation. Sandosh, sir.
Good evening, all. I am not taking much of your time. I am very much happy to know that we are coming out with a module which is very effective. From the description of Dr. Jason and Dr. Gita Patil, I learned that it will be a very, very good module for everybody. Thank you, and I wish all the success for this module and for this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandosh, sir. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Sajid John, Secretary, IAP Cochin.
All my respected IAP senior leaders, well appreciated to the team behind these programs today. As Narayanan sir said, this module should reach to the all parents. I'm not taking much time. All the best, all the blessings to today's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sajid John. Now we can go to the scientific section, media usage. For this, I invite Dr. Sri Prasad for moderating the session. Over to Dr. Sri Prasad.
Thank you, Shibu sir. First of all, let us thank Dr. T.P. Jayaraman sir, the President of IAP Kerala, Johnny Sebastian sir, the Secretary of IAP Kerala, Dr. Gobi Mohan, the Treasurer, and we are also thankful to Narayanan sir, immediate past President, Dr. Jason sir for releasing our module, and Dr. Gita Patil, an expert and an eminent leader representing Central Asia. We are also thankful to Dr. Shibu K, the President of Adolescent Health Academy, Dr. Ranjit, the Secretary of AHA Kerala, and Dr. Deepa Janathan, the Treasurer of Adolescent Health Academy, and also our team member, for entrusting us to prepare a module about the impact of media among adolescents. As mentioned here, last year, IAP Kerala came forward with an idea of providing base model mobile phones under the leadership of Narayanan sir. And that provision of base model mobile phones are without internet facilities. But the scenarios are getting changed by the introduction of COVID virus to our society. And for the last 1 year, our government opted the online schooling system for a long period. We don't know, maybe it may last till the end of this pandemic. In this context, we are forced to allow electronic gadgets with internet to our children. So in such a way, screens have become an essential part of our life. But now, the parents, teachers, healthcare professionals are concerned about the increase in children's screen time. Because even in Kerala, on an average, a child from a middle-class family is spending almost 4 or 5 hours in front of screen. We are aware that World Health Organization, IAP, and American Academy of Pediatrics, they have set some screening time limits for our kids. But from other side, you can agree with me or not, technology is an important part of our modern era. So if you are keeping over restrictions, sorry. So if you are keeping much more restrictions, here the child may get a false sensation that the technology is something to fear, and it won't help your child in this modern world. So instead of looking how much time child spent on digital media, it is better to focus on the content of that media and the context in which they are using it. But when media is used thoughtfully and appropriately, a media can enhance our daily life. But when we are using in a wrong manner or inappropriately or without thoughts, media can displace many important activities such as face-to-face interactions, family time, exercises, outdoor play, and even our sleep. So it can be healthy or unhealthy, depends on the way how we use the screen. Screen times when for educational or for pro-social activities such as doing some schoolwork, writing some assignment, making some reports on or articles based on newspaper events, or some creating some art or musical work or some relaxation. They are termed as positive or healthy. But while watching inappropriate TV shows, visiting unsafe website, playing violent video games, or watching even porn films, there are few examples of negative or unhealthy screening time. So the screening time should be balanced, like what we are saying in case of diet, balanced diet. So that is the reason we entitled our module as is it a boon or a curse? Actually, the module got designed for creating awareness among adolescents and their parents and teachers. But prior to that, we need to sensitize pediatricians and other doctor community about the impact of media in our teams. Why it is needed? Because recently, as a part of a lockdown activities, we had an opportunity to talk with the parents and students of high school and higher secondary school through the telephone. And the program was named as Adijeevanam, and it was got organized under Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan in collaboration with the educational department. Actually, the idea was they were distributing our phone numbers through their mobile, through their WhatsApp groups of students, and they are supposed to make call doctors, and they can discuss about their grievances and complaints. It is very surprisingly that we received almost 50% calls in relation with media use. According to some parents, some children are connected automatically constantly, and some are spending with mobiles even till 2 a.m., till 3 a.m., and waking up by noon next day. What is happening inside their classroom, nobody knows. Even the parents are not getting access to them when they are using media. Many are complaining and crying what to do, whom we should consult. They are in dilemma. So in such a context, our module is a mandatory one, and Central IAP, you remember, also released the parental guidelines about the same on last April 2021. So all these measures should reach the grassroots level as mentioned here and the real beneficiaries. Then only our goals are getting realized. Hope we can achieve that. We are having two faculties today to speak upon this. And in the first part of this module, we are dealing with common issues and problems. And the second part, we are trying to find some solutions. Definitely, we know that module will be complete with your suggestions and corrections only. And I think we can make some changes after hearing your valuable comments. So now we are moving to Dr. Sanju and later to Dr. Deepa. Thank you. Over to Sanju.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
hello.
audible.
I think you can hear me, correct?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, so can I start screen sharing now? That'll be good.
Yeah, please.
Is it clear?
Clear, Sanju, clear. Audible and visible.
Okay. Thank you, Shiva Prasad, for that introduction. Good evening, honorable dignitaries, my teachers, seniors, and colleagues in the online platform. Straight away, we will start teen media. So we are trying to make it simple. So this is the first one. So which is your dream phone? So long back in 2000, when I joined Calicut Medical College as an undergraduate, one of my friends from Dubai, he bought a device. So it was Nokia, our age-old Nokia 3310. And he was a champion in the campus. And all of us are very curious, what is it? And anyway, I struggled and I got one after 1 year. So there start the story of mobile phone in Kerala, I feel so. So from that, now it has moved to the latest one, iPhone Pro 12, and a lot of other gadgets, all related to this media world. So this is the first thing. So what are the benefits of mobile phone? Of course, when we start a program, always we start with a positive note. There are n number of benefits for this mobile phone. And it starts from communication to the testing, to the entertainment, to the remote working facilities, even news, sports, the areas, even the learning and research. There are a lot of positive aspects for mobile phone. So is it important in our life? This is the next question. So if I tell a big no, it will be a big lie. Definitely, it is very important in our life. And just for humor, I can tell in this COVID era, if you don't have a wife, if you don't have my wife, or if somebody is not having the husband, you can anyway adjust. But without a mobile phone or internet, it will be very difficult. So it's that important in our life. So can media use affect our health? That's the next question. See, there are many studies coming up from US, Los Angeles. It suggests that certain region of teen brains became activated by the likes you see on the social media, sometimes causing them to want to use more and more of the media. So anyway, it is affecting your brain. So you can see, just like in the picture, it is stimulating your brain and your spine is getting more stooped and you are in the tip of a toe in this mobile era. So what are the main problems you are concerned with the excess media use? So of course, there are a lot of physical issues like dryness of the eyes, body pain, even carpal tunnel syndrome, pain in the wrist and elbow, lesser physical activities, which can cause obesity. Lot of psychological issues like irritability, uneasiness, loneliness, anger, and inability to structure our free time. Of course, it may cause social as well as family issues like decreased social interaction, not having leisure activities offline. So children are more engaged inside the room. They are not interested in outdoor games and the deviant use of cyber spaces, as our early talks told, and a lot of biological issues, especially in the sleep, self-care, and irregular eating practices. So this, I feel this picture like very funny as well as very informative. You can see we started in the monkey around at 19th century. We are like almost erect. We are walking without any support. Finally, we invented these gadgets and we started stooping again. Now you can see we are again in the same position as we started. So we are dealing with some of the main issues of the smartphones. First, I'd like to put some problems with the sleep. So smartphones can affect our sleep, of course. It is told that the gadgets can cause short wavelength blue light, and it mimics the sunlight. So it can affect your circadian rhythm, and it will cause a less melatonin secretion, and it affect your sleep. And lights from the screen can delay the onset of the sleep. So more screen time, more problems with your sleep. And ringtones, message, and call notifications in the midnight can awake you, and it can disrupt your normal sleep. So the sleep deprivation in turn can lead to obesity. And too many issues if the sleep get affected. You can say it can affect the mood, emotion, and academic performance of the teen. And it can, even a chronic sleep issue can weaken your immune system and cause diseases. It can increase the anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts in the teens. And at last, and very important, it can cause obesity. because of the binge eating. We eat a lot of stuff when you are in the internet or in the in the media platform, and there is a decrease in the physical activity. So next is the main thing. This you can say it's online games. It's the second main issue. So I think you are familiar with some famous online games in the platform like Ludo King, PUBG Mobile, Pokemon, and Free Fire. So there is something called social learning theory or observational learning theory put forward by Canadian psychologist Albert Bandura. And he suggests that these behavioral issues like aggression, lack of empathy, and short temperament will be more if your child is exposed to these online games. So now there are some 5 criteria. There is some definition for internet gaming disorder also. And out of this 9 phase, you need 5 or more to name it internet gaming disorder. So we can just see what is that. The first one is preoccupation with game. That is, do you constantly think about a certain type of game or media? And the second one is withdrawal symptoms. Like, do you ever feel moody, irritable, or depressed when you have to stop using media? And the third one is tolerance. Like, do you have to spend more and more time with media in order to feel satisfied? And the unsuccessful attempts, that have you tried to get back on your media use and found that you are unable to do that? It is not the case with the teens. Even you can check your thing. And the other one is giving up other activities like which is interesting for you, like maybe a gaming outing, or continue to game despite of any problems. And the other one is deceiving family members. In the sense, do you ever lie to your friends or family about how much time you spent using media? Or like, do you use media to escape from your problems, from your negative mood? Or do you ever have media use get in way of school or sleep, or be with friends or family, or even you lost a job because of the indulging in media? So out of this, if 5 or more is there, you can comment it as internet gaming disorder. So how can we protect ourselves by playing online games? So stick to age appropriate games. Never download games by clicking on links, receiving on mail, or through a pop-up form. Always install and update a good antivirus software on your computer. Do not share personal information. It's very important. Never share your password with anyone. Never use voice chat or webcam while playing online. Never share you or your parents' credit card or debit card. It's very important. And other most common issue we are dealing with is pornography. The sad aspect is that in India, any discussion about sex is considered a taboo, and most people do not have even basic sex education. So what is the result? Pornography. Pornography composites around 33% in the wide web. And internet pornography is popular in India. 63% of youth in urban area watching pornography, with 74% accessing through their mobile phones, even more. Cyber pornography is carrying, and cyber pornography in India is carrying a punishment of imprisonment of 5 years and fine up to even 10 lakhs. And you can see this is a graph, an interesting graph. During our COVID times, we are using more of gadgets for online classes, other platforms. And you can see even the pornography graph is also going high. So this is how people are involved, engaged in this thing. So how pornography get affected? So it is told that sexually explicit materials may trigger your mirror neurons in the midbrain that can trigger arousal. And pornography can cause excitement that triggers the production of neurotransmitters like dopamine. It can cause a peak pleasure or a climax. So it induces 2 phases like addiction phase and escalation phase. Addiction phase make you more obsessed or compulsion to the pornography, while the escalation phase, in the escalation phase, you need more pervertive stuff to stick into this. So pornography is just like a drug addiction. And these are about the harmful effects of pornography to the society. It plays an accessory role in the negative social issues such as child abuse, violence against women, rape, inequality, relationship and family breakdown, youth crime, and sexually transmitted diseases. And it causes depressions, emotional numbness, loneliness, difficult concentrating, less motivation, poor coping without it, and failing to get arousal in a real circumstances. So what we can do? Curiosity about sex is a normal part of child's development. If your child comes across pornography by mistake, they are likely to need reassurance and support. So parents need to be aware of the situation. So we need a healthy parenting and restore self-respect and build self-esteem in your child. That is most important. And some safety tips are: use antivirus software, uninstall unnecessary software, stay anonymous, choose a genderless screen name, maintain backup and check security settings. And some of the pornography rules in India. And so watching porn at home is not illegal, but distribution, sale, showcasing, publishing, sending a private message, etc. is illegal. Sending porn videos of any stuff is illegal. Sex stories are also sexually explicit content. And child pornography in any sense, watching or saving or sending, is totally illegal. So we'll skip this slide for a minute. Mobile phones make you closer to the person from far away from you, but it takes you away from one sitting next to you. And next we go to the internet and crime. So while dealing with internet and crime, I like to tell about three main headings. One is the one about the cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is actually is bullying with the use of digital technologies. It can take place on social media, messaging platform, gaming platforms, and in the mobile phones. It is a repeated behavior aimed at scaring, anchoring, or shaming those who are targeted. So it can be rumors, gossiping, like lies, name calling, harassment, by other methods. And slut shaming is another terminology. It's very similar to cyberbullying. In slut shaming, actually, the girls are targeted on social media and bullied through degradation or humiliation for their sexuality. They can be ridiculed in the way they look, the way they dress, or the presumed level of sexual activity. And online predators is defined as a person who uses the internet to seek out vulnerable children and adolescents for sexual exploitation or other abusive purposes. Recently, we saw in the newspaper about these things. And cyber crimes are the other thing. So it's actually a criminal activity that either targets or uses a computer or computer network. So it is normally done by the cyber criminals or hackers. And it is estimated that around 3 lakh cases and 5,500 FIRs were registered in the last 18 months. So this much quantum of cyber crimes are happening in India. And cyber criminals may they may infect computers with this virus and malware, and it can cause damage to the devices and to steal data or even send wrong malware or other information through the network. And 75% of teenagers have no clear knowledge of minimum age required for creating social media accounts. 2/5 of the users are open to accept requests from friends or a complete strangers vulnerable to online threats and assaults. 10% of adolescents experience cyberbullying, and 10% had either their profile misused or account hacked. 23% had seen a morphed image or a video online. And the recent UNICEF data in 2019 told some 80% of children in 25 countries report feeling in danger of sexual abuse or exploitation from an online predator. So we'll move to the previous slide. So So all these constitute the internet addiction disorder. So it can be an uncontrolled video gaming, or a social media use, or a pornography viewing, or information binging. So all constitute internet addiction disorder. It can cause social problems, academic failure, and behavioral issues. So what do you do? That is a question. So what will you do if a person threatens you online? A, I will unfriend him. B, I will discuss with my parents. C, I will pray to God. D, I will plan alone how to tackle him. Or E, I will search in Google. So now the solution starts. I'm handing over the module to Deepa, the rest of the module to Deepa. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanju, for briefing about the advantages, about the disadvantages, about the pornography rules, about the internet crimes and offenses, and also about internet gaming disorders and internet addiction disorders. A lot of problems are there with the use of digital media use. And now we can try to find some solutions for all these problems, and we have to get familiar with some terminologies related to social medias. Let us go to Dr. Deepa for the continuation of module. Over to Deepa.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Sri Prasad sir, for that kind words. My humble pranams to Geeta Patil ma'am, Jisan sir, Narayanan sir, Jayaraman sir, Johnny sir, and all dignitaries here. Also, I would like to thank IAP Kerala, AHA Kerala, and IAP Cochin for giving me this great opportunity. So I would like to begin from where Sanju left. Sanju described n number of benefits and an equal number of risks or problems of media use. And what is the solution? I want every one of you to understand that electronic devices are tools, not treats. What do you mean by this? Like when we buy an electronic device for a kid, he should have a need for it. And also he should be, we should feel that he has a maturity to use it responsibly and safely, the way he uses an automobile. So when we buy an automobile to a kid, you'll see that he needs it and also he uses it appropriately. He will be safe for himself and to the society. I'm sure all of you must be having a mobile by your side. Can you all please take it? Can you please open the WhatsApp and type a message? Just hold on, just look at yourself. What is the position of your neck? What is the position of your spine? And what is the position of your wrist and fingers? So this is the wrong and correct posture of holding mobiles. We need to lift the mobile high above so as to keep our neck straight. So how to prevent mobile phone injury? You need to alternate between thumb and other fingers to type. And if using your thumb to type, use the pad of your thumb as opposed to the tip of the thumb. Keep your wrist relaxed and as straight as possible. Maintain an upright spinal posture when texting and avoid using the phone to one side of the body with the neck rotated. Now, these days with COVID, most of our kids will have schools in the morning hours, then they will have tuitions, and the evening they will be having some entrance coaching. So literally they will be sitting in front of the computer from morning to evening. So all the physical problems, all the aches and pains which Sanju described is more likely. So to avoid that, this is the ergonomic position described. The monitor height should be at or slightly below your eye level. Your back should be supported, elbow should be supported, and the wrist should be straight. And the angle behind your knee should be 90 to 120 degree. And the foot should be flat on the, either on the floor. And your keyboard tray should be straight or should have a slight negative angle. That means it should be bent, it should be, the front should be a bit downward. And the keyboard tray height should be at the elbow level. How to reduce the radio frequency radiation from mobile. I have some good news for you. Till date, studies have not proven a consistent association between mobile phone use and cancer. Why? Because the radiation emitted by mobile phone is actually non-ionizing radiation. That means it doesn't have the energy required to damage DNA and thereby cause cancer. But having said that, the widespread use of mobile phone began only 15-20 years ago. So new evidence might come up in future. So it's better to be cautious. So you need to use a earpiece, use speakerphone more often, and limit the time you speak on phone to reduce the radio frequency from the mobile. Be aware of the hazards and dangers of media use so as to be safe. We should know about the difference between real life and virtual life. In real life, it is offline activities, whereas in virtual life, it is online activities. In real life, there is direct socializing. Kids play with their neighbors, whereas in virtual life, it is social networking. In real life, the life is in a local community, whereas in virtual life, the life is in World Wide Web. Your message goes far. The moment you put a message in your WhatsApp, you get responses from all over the world. In real life, you get limited information, whereas in virtual life, as you all know, it's unlimited information. Please note the next point. In real life, the history is remembered, whereas in virtual life, the history is recorded. Digital footprints remains forever. So please think twice before you forward a message. Parents are more in control, whereas in virtual life, the parents are obviously less in control. So the virtual life communication must not become a substitute for real life communication, but a smart additional channel. Do you know how many social media sites are there? We all know WhatsApp, we all know YouTube, we know Pinterest, we know Facebook, we know Instagram. But when I search Google, there are more than 100 social media sites. And I'm sure our kids will be knowing at least 10 times more than what we know. Do you know what is Finsta and Rinsta? They are not twins, but Finsta is the fake Instagram meant for parents, and Rinsta is the real Instagram meant for friends. Some funny terms. Nomophobia is no mobile phone phobia. Like one day, if you forget to take your mobile phone to your hospital, you feel an undue anxiety or phobia. So that is called nomophobia. Next is ringxiety. That is always you keep feeling that mobile is ringing. So these two are features of mobile phone addiction. Next is stranger danger, a self-explanatory term. Any stranger whom you meet online is a dangerous person. For that matter, friends of friends are also dangerous. Next three are financial crimes. We often get emails telling that, congratulations, you have won £1 million. Please enter the site and give your credentials. And the moment you enter your credentials, instead of crediting, your amount will be debited. The same thing if you do over phone or VoIP, it's called phishing. And farming is actually a bigger crime where you're redirected to a bogus website. For example, Bank of America, instead of AMERICA in America, they would have typed ARNERICA. And it's small letters, R and N looks like M. And if you enter the site and give your credentials, you are gone. So what are the ways in which people online may seek to persuade you? First one is grooming. Grooming is the process by which a predator builds an emotional connect with his victim for the purpose of future sexual exploitation or financial gains. Bribing is offering gifts of value in order to get something in return. And flattery is praising. You all know that the teenagers are always in need of appreciation, which they may not get adequately from their parents, teachers, or their friends. So if someone provides them what they need, they will fall for them. Next is sexualized games and intimacy building, and desensitization is the next one. In desensitization, various levels of sexualized images and messages are sent to the victim so that they get used to it, and they get desensitized. And then we have threats and blackmail. And last is the scattergun approach, in which they use as a combination of any of the above. A word of caution. Personal information shared can be used against us. Review the content and share only if essential. And in order to download an app, use trusted websites or platforms like Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Never download from the pop-ups or the emails that you receive. And before you post, think. T stands for, is it true? H, is it helpful? I, is it inspiring? N, is it necessary? And K, is it kind? So what will you do if you get online messages that make you feel uncomfortable? Option A is, I will delete it. B is, I will block him. C is, I will share with my close ones. And D, I will offer him money. And what should you do? You need to tell the matter to your parents or a trusted adult. Cut off communication with the bully. Change online credentials. Save screenshots or copies of messages and images from the bully or predator. That can be evidence. Never, you can hide it, but never delete it. And report the activity to the cyber cell. What will you do if you have impulsively sent some messages that hurt others? Inform your parent or a trusted adult. Apologize to the friend you have hurt and take parents' help. Some more terms. Phantom vibration syndrome is same as ring anxiety. That is, you keep getting the feel that the mobile is vibrating. Zero inbox syndrome is an urge to keep your inbox empty. Every now and then you open them, you check your inbox and empty it. Snapchat syndrome. Snapchat app, as you all know, is an app that beautifies you. It straightens your curved nose. It beautifies your eyebrows. So what happens is that teenagers, they take these images to the plastic surgeon and ask them to get it corrected. So it's a type of body dysmorphic disorder. And self-itis is an obsession to keep on, in which they keep on taking selfies and post it on Instagram or Facebook. Around 20 years back, when we had only land phone, I think I used to remember some 20, 25 mobile numbers or phone numbers. But today, if you ask me, I know only 2 numbers, mine and my husband's. So that is digital amnesia. I trust on these devices for remembering whatever I'm supposed to remember. Next is doom surfing. Like Jason sir was telling, people tend to surf on sad or unpleasant news. Maybe the death toll of COVID-19. They get depressed, they get sad after it, but still they continue doing that. And digital burnout, from morning to evening, you use devices and at the end of the day, you feel exhausted. So that is digital burnout. So how can I better balance my media use so that I don't become addicted? Set up screen-free zones, designate screen-free times, balance online and offline activities, get enough sleep and fit in exercise. Family media plan is the solution that IAP gives. The parents and the kids sit together around the table and they agree upon a contract called family media plan. It has certain headings, but under the headings, you can customize for your family and for each child. So define screen-free zones, maybe kids' bedroom, maybe dining room, maybe kitchen, screen-free times, that is family time, meal time, 1 hour before bed, while driving, while crossing the road. Device curfews, when all devices are turned off, like during sleep. Choose and diversify your media, that is during recreational screen time, what all things you watch. And do not visit new websites without permission. And it's very important that you co-view and co-play. Next comes balancing online and offline time. By decreasing screen time, we have more time for playing with pets, gardening, enjoying outdoor games. Manners matter. We will show good media manners by not looking at the phone when someone is talking to us. Avoiding phone at mealtime. Another important concept is digital citizenship. This is the next heading. That is respecting others' privacy, not being rude, and telling a trusted adult if being bullied or getting messages that make us uncomfortable. Then safety first. Do not share personal information or photos online. Do not use mobiles while crossing the road. Review privacy settings on all sites with children. And do not chat with strangers online without permission. Again, very important, sleep and exercise. Now, what happens when you're addicted to mobile is that you tend to forget your responsibilities or replace your responsibilities with by using these devices. So that should not happen. So now what they advise is like consider the 24 hours in a day as an empty gas. Fill it with 8 to 9 hours of sleep, 1 to 2 hours for your daily course, 1 to 2 hours for your meals, 4 hours for your school time, 2 hours for homework, like that. And whatever is remaining at that time only you can use for your media. So internet safety, S stands for speak to somebody if you need help. A stands for ask an adult before going online. F, friends are real people we know. And E is enjoy, play, have fun, and stay safe. So you must be knowing FOMO and JOMO. FOMO is the fear of missing out. We have something called as FOBLO, that is fear of being left out. It's actually a worried feeling that you may miss exciting events that other people are going to, especially caused by things you see on social media. Whereas JOMO is the joy of missing out. You need to take a break from the social activity, especially social media, to enjoy personal time. In FOMO, there is heavy reliance on social media for connections. Whereas in JOMO, you relish staying in and enjoying your own company. In FOMO, you always check your social media, afraid that you will miss out something. Whereas in JOMO, you slow down and experience life at its purest essence. So I request all of you to take a break, go to some beautiful places like Munnar or Wayanad, switch off all your devices and enjoy a weekend with your family and feel the joy of missing out, feel JOMO. So the question remains, team media, a boon or a curse? So here are contributors, and thanks and regards from IAP and HA Kerala team 2021. Thank you.
So thank you, Deepa, for the excellent presentation. Please accept that the module is designed for creating awareness among adolescents, but I am sure that it may be fitting for many pediatricians and doctors also, because we are not familiar with many of the digital terminologies, what they are saying now. And we are, I don't know how many of us are maintaining correct position when we are doing some messages or texting, and how many of us are having nomophobia, and how many of us are hearing our phone ringing when they are not. So all these are present in the common era, in the COVID era, and now the topic is open for discussions.
Can I add one thing?
Sure, madam.
Can I talk?
Sure, madam. Sure, you can.
I think Dr. Deepa has, I congratulate her for having such an excellent and everything she has covered up. She was telling about, I think previous, Dr. Sanju was telling about the pornography. Pornography and sexting has become very rampant. Reason is now, during this lockdown, it is increasing more. Sexual abuse has increased because these adolescents are not exposed to developmentally appropriate atmosphere. Social distancing, school colleges are closed, there is no socialization. So they are trying to find out a way. And you know that their prefrontal cortex is not mature. So they don't understand that these are high risk behaviors. How are you going to tackle these things? First thing, we have to talk to them about healthy sexuality. I'm not sex. This is affecting the sexuality. And as it was told that people are uncomfortable to talk about sexuality. Once you talk, I think this pornography or sexting, virtual sex, they say virtual sex now. So these things will reduce, but we have to understand their developmental stage and then we have to do. And one more point is cyberbullying is difficult to tackle than the physical bullying or verbal bullying, because as it was told that it lasts as a footprint. So cyberbullying, to remove it is very difficult. It goes on persistently irritate the adolescent or person with he is a victim. So cyberbullying is the thing which we have to train the adolescent not to become predator, not to become a victim, because both the problems are difficult for us to manage. And I think you have compared, Dr. Deepa, automobile license and using a social media. I think we have to make a formulate what is the age. We say 13 years, but I have seen a 10 years old child doing everything. I think it is very difficult for us to tell about that. And how to take care of this. Rule of 20 is told. It is a simple rule. Maybe better than that is also there. Every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Because we have to advise them what are the plans we have to do for the online classes. How to reduce the eye strain. We have to tell these things. And I told in the beginning that online classes, excessive screen time, is hampering the physical activity, leading to obesity. This is a physical problem which we need to know. And as it is a new normal, we cannot do anything. So when you are having this, please advise them. Media is okay, because I told in the descending order it should be done. Now quantity of screen time is not important. It is a quality and it should be productive. So first is education, we can't avoid. Second is creativity. Third is a socialization. Last comes for a pleasure like internet gaming. So we have to advise them in this descending order, they should use their media. And I think we all need to be JOMO. I think this is very important point being highlighted, which has to be highlighted again and again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for your suggestions and corrections. We will try to include your valuable suggestions in our module later.
Yes.
Any more suggestions, comments, questions?
I think Dr. Shubha is there. Shubha, can you unmute? And she is from Nagpur. I had told her to join. We'll get an input. Shubha, are you there?
We heard her 2 weeks back when she had presented about parenting.
Yes. She was here in the EPIC module, no?
I think you should add the effect of the media in this corona times to this module and how you can manage that. Because it's a big issue with parents and students and these children on how the news should be spread. How the parents should use what is there on the media to educate children on proper method of educating on about COVID, and that could be something that could add, I thought. The other thing is, as I said in my inaugural address, on some methods of some intervention programs that you could think of. This is an awareness program where you've said a lot of things, a lot of material has been put into this module. But how are you going to take it forward? See, there's so many modules. You're going to talk to pediatricians. Maybe you're going to do this in school. But how is it going to impact the use of social media? Because when they learn about these things, they'll try more of it. When they know that there is the internet can give you some pleasure, then they'll try more of it. What are the methods that IAHA can implement to interventions to prevent to reduce the use of the media and follow up on those programs to get a long-term effect of these interventions. There are very few studies in the world, and I told you I went through most of these studies, and there's very few. 29 studies only were ideal for interventions on this issue, and the not having the importance of not having any media in the bedroom of children. We highlighted some of those things and how you can track the use of there's tracking systems to see how much of media these children are watching. How in Kerala you have some schools where boys and girls are not allowed to mix. But every girl is given a mobile phone by a boy. Parents don't even realize that mobile phones are there in the house. So, it's happening so rampantly. Especially here we have in Cochin, we have the Alamein public school where they're not allowed to mix. All the girls have been given mobiles from their boyfriends. And the parents don't know till it goes out of hand. It's like substance abuse, unless when it reaches a level that is beyond control, that is when the parents realize that there's a problem. So the awareness and the parental involvement in their children is minimal because the adolescents don't like the parents involved in anything that they do. So it is the adolescents who need to be aware it's their life. They should be told that it is their life, and you can destroy your life by doing things that are not ideal for your psychological development. Because when you go into internet gaming, you go into drugs too. There's a lot of other companies that you get into. So it is their life. They have to understand that it is for their own good that is happening, and no amount of us telling them will change their behavior. Behavior change in anybody is very difficult, and unless they are convinced that this is what is good for them, it's not going to happen. So I think we must think about ways in which we can convince adolescents on appropriate behavior on the social media. I hope we can come up with something. The AHA should also look into this. I think Swati and Preeti and all, I think I told them to think about some ways, that you can, some concrete ways of reducing. Just talking about this won't make a difference. We're just going to make them aware, yeah, okay, this is happening. They won't understand the importance. What is the method that you can devise? That's something that we must look at. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason sir. We will definitely include your valuable suggestions in our module. And any more?
I was telling about this burgeon social media addiction scale, because that is the one which is talked a lot now. It is little more lengthy, but apart from that, smartphone addiction scale, because internet addiction is not under DSM. It is a problematic internet usage. The DSM is for internet gaming, but not for internet addiction. So we have to use these scales. These are the two scales used everywhere. These two scales, I think you can incorporate to use in our clinic, which are not very difficult to use. They are not diagnostic. They are just for a screening. So we need to know about these screening tools also to add in our thing, because that is a newer thing. We never used to do, only we used to ask about the family media plan, but now we have to screen them. And it is available everywhere, these screening tools.
And parents should be taught also where they should go and where they should consult, because they are in dilemma. We don't know to whom we should approach. That is another concern.
Have you made a plan on how this is going to go about? How is this module going to be rolled out? How is this module going to be rolled out in Kerala or wherever you're going to plan? How is it planned? Is it in schools? Is it for teachers?
Sir, we are planning to modify our module in such a way that pediatricians can train school students through online meetings, because it is only one way now possible. Like what we did in case of diet and all. I remember with Elizabeth Madam. So the same thing we are planning to adopt. So we will make a module, and we will release it into Adolescent Health Academy Kerala, and under their supervision, we can make online platform classes to the parents and to the teachers and to the students even, for those who are interested.
My question is, how do you make them interested? For instance, Cochin, you think we'll contact schools and say this module is available. Is that the way?
Dr. Shibu sir?
Yes.
Any suggestions?
Excellent module. Nothing to add.
No, the thing is,
Jason sir is asking how to implement this.
So you made a module. Now we need to roll it out. How are you going to do? Is there any plan made to roll it out and make this awareness, spread all over the schools in Kerala?
We can plan, sir.
Sir, we can all the district branches, when after releasing the module, all the district branches with the help of RBSK coordinators is there in every district, Rashtriya Balya Swasthya Karyagram coordinators, and with the help of the RBSK coordinators, we can reach to. They have so many adolescent health club is there, Sauprada club is there, and if any through which we are planning to reach to the adolescents, and we can also, if any PTA are interested, we can go take classes for the adolescents with the module prepared by the experts by IAP and AHA.
Are you making a Malayalam translation of this or something for the government schools?
Definitely, we have to make, sir.
You have to make one, because vernacular is so most important. This, you're talking about fishing and all that. Nobody will understand.
Yeah.
Jomo. Okay, what is Jomo? In Malayalam, government schools, they won't even listen. It's like, when we did the dyslexia program for, we wanted some provisions. Maharashtra, we went to the minister. It was written in English. He put it on the table and left it there. After a few months, nothing happened. Then we wrote it in Marathi and sent it there. Put it on his table. He read it to it, and immediately the provisions came. He didn't read through it. It's a big volume of things to read in English. He didn't even look at it because he didn't know the language too well. He didn't bother to go through the whole thing. Once it was in vernacular, it happened like a jiffy. So unless the target audience is understood, if you public schools, maybe English is okay, but all of the schools will prefer it in Malayalam. So it's important that you make it in vernacular also.
I think our module is having a lot of slides having dominant pictures. So I think this can convey a lot of messages. And when we talk, I think it's quite easy also to translate most of the slides. Other than those slides having that wordings like nomophobia and all those things. Otherwise, I think it will be easy for translating the things.
Yeah, I think look at it that way, because otherwise sometimes it will not take it all.
Sure.
Just sit through it. Anyway, it's a beautiful module. A lot of work has gone into it. Pictures are looking beautiful. A lot of areas have been covered, but add a few things more to the strategies of intervention strategies on the including and just read through all the interventions that have been happened. All the studies that I quoted, I think you go through the interventions that are available and apply if that can be added. Okay, mass interventions will be required. Effect is less than if it's a mass intervention program. And model I think IAP, AHA, India will take it up.
Sir, ഇത് അഫക്റ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ആൾക്കാർക്ക് മാത്രമായിട്ട് ഈ ജില്ലയിൽ തന്നെയും കുറെ ആൾക്കാർ അഫക്റ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുണ്ടല്ലോ, അവരെ മാത്രം നമുക്ക് ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് പറ്റും ഈ SSA ഒക്കെ ആയിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റോട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടാൽ. അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ വെച്ചിട്ട് നമ്മുടെ ജില്ലയിൽ വി ക്യാൻ ഹാവ് എ ലിസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് ദോസ് അഫക്റ്റഡ് ചിൽഡ്രൻ ആൻഡ് വി ക്യാൻ ടാർഗറ്റ് them only, not to all, but if you are targeting them, I think we can get some results.
The children will require psychiatric help. Psychologist.
Yeah.
Our program is mainly prevention. Our program is for non-addicted people. Addiction, it's a very, very difficult thing. Substance abuse, jail are all drug addicts. They already gone cases. Manage it's prevention. Our level already affected children identify in Larthalia.
Okay.
Dr. Anas made a comment here. Can ask Byju's blogs to shoot a video with Dr. Deepa. It will reach 5 lakhs parents in no time. Easy way to reach a large audience.
Byju's?
Yes, Byju's blog.
Yeah.
He's saying he can make arrangement for that.
Yeah.
Can try.
Look at all innovative methods of mass propagation of this program. Over school by child is a very Herculean task. Very involved down so much of time. We can get mass media. It will be much useful.
അത് നല്ലൊരു സജഷൻ ആണെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. ജീസൻ സാറിന്റെ അഭിപ്രായം എന്താ അത്?
അതെ, വെരി ഗുഡ്. അങ്ങനെ വല്ല മാസ് മീഡിയ കിട്ടുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഇറ്റ് ഷുഡ് ബി, ഇത് ഒരു ടൈം അല്ല, ഇറ്റ് ഹാസ് ടു ബി കണ്ടിന്യൂസ്. ഇത് എന്താ പറയാ, CAB പോലെ ഇറ്റ് ഹാസ് ടു ബി കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ഇൻ മെഡിക്കൽ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ പോലെ. ഇത് ആവർത്തിച്ച് ഇങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞാലേ ഇതിന്റെ എഫക്ട് വരുള്ളൂ. ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം ചെയ്തിട്ട് പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു മണ്ണാങ്കട്ടി ഉണ്ടാവാൻ പോകുന്നില്ല. It has to be continuously drummed into their heads. There are problems. അല്ലേ? അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ ഒരു മാസ് മീഡിയ മൈജൂരിനൊക്കെ അങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, if they can do it every 2 weeks, same thing maybe. പക്ഷെ കുറച്ച് പേര് കാണും, കുറച്ച് പേര് കാണില്ല. റിപ്പീറ്റഡ് കാണുമ്പോൾ കുറച്ചുകൂടി മനസ്സിലാവും.
അവരതുകൊണ്ട് ജീവിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാരാണ്. അവരെന്ത് തയ്യാറാകുമെന്നുള്ളത് അറിയില്ല.
അല്ല, നമ്മള് അതിൽ കാശ് ആവശ്യമുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് യൂസ് ചെയ്യണം. ഷുഡ് put in some money into it if they want money. അത് AHK നമുക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യാം. ജയറാമിനോട് ചോദിച്ചിട്ട്, ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ ലൈക്ക് IAP നമ്മൾ ലോഗോ കൊടുക്കല്ലേ, ഇറ്റ്സ് എ ബിഗ് തിങ് ഫോർ ദം. എന്തെങ്കിലും കുറച്ച് കാശ് അവർക്ക് ആവശ്യമുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് അത് മാനേജ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റണം. സ്പോൺസർ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കണം. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇതിങ്ങനെ ഒരു സ്കൂളിൽ പോയി ചെയ്തിട്ട് I don't know how many people will be watching it. It's a continuous program. ഒരു 2-3 അങ്ങനത്തെ ബൈജു പോലത്തെ, ഷിബു പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ 2-3 നമ്മൾ മലയാളത്തിലെ ഏതെങ്കിലും ബ്ലോഗ്സോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയുള്ള ഗ്രൂപ്പ്സ് ഇതിൽ നമുക്ക് പ്രൊപ്പഗേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുകയാണെങ്കിൽ maybe it will be better.
Okay.
Lot of work to do. Shri Prasad, Deepa, Ranjit, Shibu, Sanju, all of you all have a lot of work to do. പക്ഷേ ഇത് ഒരു എഫക്റ്റ് വരണമെങ്കിൽ it has to be continuous drumming. എന്നാലേ അതിന്റെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് മനസ്സിലാവുള്ളൂ. അവർക്ക് തോന്നണം. Also should feel.
We will try to make a Malayalam version also, sir.
Madam,
in a simple video.
Simple videos. മലയാളത്തില് അങ്ങനത്തെ വലിയ എല്ലാം കൂടി വേണമെന്നില്ല. ഇതിന്റെ ഡേഞ്ചേഴ്സും ഇതിന്റെ ഗുണങ്ങളും അതിന്റെ എന്തൊക്കെ ഇൻഷുറൻസ് സ്ട്രാറ്റജീസും അതിന്റെ ഇത് അവോയ്ഡ് ചെയ്തുള്ള ഗുണങ്ങളും ഒക്കെ കുറച്ചൊരു പീരീഡ് പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ.
Sure, we will try, sir.
Anyway, good.
Thank you. Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot.
Sripasad sir, one question asked by our State Secretary Johnny sir. Is there any guideline regarding screen time for school kids age-wise? Recommended hours age-wise, is there any guideline?
It was there before as a...
Sir, you are muted, sir. You are muted, sir.
You are muted.
Before it was there, suggestions are set by IAP, AAP, and WHO. But even in the Central IAP parental guidelines issued by Central IAP last month, I think it came on April 21st, 2021. There also they are mentioning about screening time limits and all. But as Madam told here, it is better not to focus on the time limit, but to focus on the quality of the media and the context in which they are doing that.
വേറൊരു കാര്യം, ബിലോ 3 years 2 years നമ്മൾ മീഡിയ എത്തിയിട്ട് പാടില്ല എന്നുള്ളത് അത് വളരെ സ്ട്രോങ് ആയിട്ട് പേരൻസിനെ പറഞ്ഞ് മനസ്സിലാക്കേണ്ടത് ആവശ്യമാണ്. ബിക്കോസ് സ്പീച്ചും ലാംഗ്വേജും ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് എഫക്റ്റഡ് ആവുന്നുണ്ട്. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഇത് ഈ മോഡ്യൂളിൽ അത് ഒരു ഹെഡിങ് കൊടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ it will be good, because screen time and mobile phones for children below 2 years absolutely banned. അത് ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് എഫക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ട്. Especially ഒരു communication disorder, a child has a communication disorder is gone. And most of them come to you at age 2 and 3 when they're not speaking a word, because this child has been on mobile and TVs all the time. He has no interest in human communication. He doesn't feel the need for human communication because he's so excited with this media. So he thinks he develops interest in patterns. So that message can come through in one of the slides. To ban absolute no.
So in small children, they are suggesting only high quality programming. In less than 2 years, definitely parents are giving like as a toy only in many cases.
But then feeding time. Okay, they're using mobiles. That destroys that communication between the parent and the child, and the communication disorder is aggravated.
Yeah.
So that one slide, maybe you're talking about children and media. So teen matralla, idu unna add idal.
Social work.
Yeah. Okay. Shall I leave? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any more comments?
Geeta, Dr. Geeta, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much, sir. Can I leave, Dr. Ranjit?
Yeah, sure, madam. Okay. And
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you.
Madam, you are muted, ma'am.
Thank you very much, IAP Kerala, IAP Kerala, and IAP Cochin. Thank you. Both the speakers were really excellent and moderated very well by Dr. Sri Prasad, and all the inputs by Dr. Jason and everyone. It is really a great thing. It is going to come forward with a very great information. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Shall we wind up, Ranjit?
Yeah. If there are no more questions, and we can wind up. And Johnny sir asked that if there is any correct hours for school online classes, he may have to contact the school authorities to reduce the.
ഒരു പ്രജ്ഞത ഗൈഡ് ലൈൻസിനകത്ത് പറയുന്നത് പ്രീ പ്രൈമറി കുട്ടികൾക്കാണെങ്കിൽ 30 സെഷൻസിന്റെ ഒരു സെഷൻ മാത്രം 30 മിനിറ്റ്സ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു സെഷൻ മാത്രമേ പാടുള്ളൂ എന്നാണ്. ആൻഡ് ഫോർ ക്ലാസ്സസ് ഫ്രം ഫസ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് ടു 8th സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് 45 മിനിറ്റ്സിന്റെ 2 സെഷൻസ് ആണ് മാക്സിമം പറയുന്നത്. From 9th standard onwards till 12th standard, we can go for 4 sessions maximum, each lasting 45 minutes. So maximum 3 hours ആണ് പറയുന്നത്. So half an hour for a pre-primary child, 1 hour for a child who is studying between first classes and first standard and 8th standard, and for those above 9th standard, maximum 4 hours for scholastic performance.
Can we include that guidelines into your module so that
these guidelines are as per released by Ministry of Human Resources. It is there. We can include that also.
It's an ideal thing, you know.
Madam Sanju, any?
Yeah.
It's ideal, but what about children who go for entrance coaching, doing 15 hours?
No. Yeah, true, sir.
Nobody is following that.
Yeah, 15 hours is what they do in front of the laptop, including school. I think it's very difficult. All of them are coming with wrist pain and back pain and neck pain and all that. So many children are affected. So it's very difficult. Guidelines are never followed. It's just recommendations and guidelines.
And if we cut short our school timing for that screening time, they will increase the screen time for the other purpose.
So it's it's just that these are recommendations which would be ideal, but very difficult to follow.
Should guide them in using it in a responsible way and a safe way. That is all. We cannot think of living without screens. And our kids also should be equipped with using the screens. Without screens, you cannot live.
And I think we should ascertain parents also reduce the screen time, because they are seeing the parents. Because if the parents are not reducing the screen time, we can't tell the students, teens or children to reduce the screen time.
Very true. Parents need to role model. Parents need to be updated. They should know the technology. They should know all these apps.
Half the children don't understand what they're seeing. And many of them are.
We don't understand, sir. The kids are very tech friendly.
Because that one teaching makes a lot of difference. Teachers are not able to, connect well on these online classes. So many of these children are, especially differently able children and teachers. Those learning disability children are gone. They lost 1 year of The American study showed that this pandemic the children have lost 8 months of study, of schooling. 8 months have lost. So if this has happened, India would have been much, much worse. So online you have to get back to school, especially higher education. They have to have face-to-face teaching. Higher
And
education
social development is affected badly.
higher education is in shambles. All these entrance exams and everything is gone. No, online exams are a big problem. Issues, a lot of issues. Anyway, a lot of learning. Thank you so much. I'm leaving. Thank you.
Thank you.
All the very best. You've done a great job. Thank you.
Okay. There is no questions. We can wind up the session. And on behalf of IAP Kerala, AHA Kerala, and IAP Cochin, I would like to thank the wonderful moderator, Sri Prasad sir, for the excellent session. And also our speakers, Dr. Deepa Janardhan and Dr. Sanju, for the excellent sessions. And I would like to thank the inaugural Jason sir for inaugurating this wonderful module, and Geeta Patel ma'am for the chief guest for the wonderful suggestions and guidance. And I would like to thank our IAP Kerala State President Jayaraman sir, Joni sir, the secretary, and Narayana sir, the immediate past president, for their valuable presence, and also the IAP Cochin President Dr. Pramod sir and the Secretary Dr. Sajid sir for the organization and the support, and my own team members and Dr. Shibu sir, our dynamic president, and then Deepa madam, the treasurer of AHA Kerala, and the wonderful team of AHA for the excellent module. And we would like to have some more modules on gender equality and adolescent obesity and life skills modules, which will be released in the subsequent months. And we would try to reach to the parents, students. As Dr. Anas suggested, we would do some videos and reach more to the public. And thank you for your valuable sessions. Thank you all the participants for their valuable time spending with us. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.